Let's accelerate. Welcome you back to Check This Out, the show we take a look at whatever deck we want to take a look at and have ourselves a good old time. Today, everybody, we're taking a look at the new shark support. Those watery boys who like to exceed summon out the wazoo. It's surprising, but yes, they actually got some more support, and it's very nice support too. Just allowing them to go from one monster to a dozen even faster than they did before. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. We're just going to summon out our shark monsters, exceed summon as often as humanly possible, overwhelm our opponent with sheer water pressure, and go for the gold. That's what this deck is all about. So we got ourselves our shark deck today. We're going to show off the wombos and the combos, the what do's and the what not do's, and have ourselves a good old time. So of course, you got the whole deck list. It's at the end of it as always. But for now, we're going to head out into yugioh Pro. We're going to show off what this deck can do, show you all the wombos, combos, and have ourselves a good old time. So without further ado, let's get right into the action. Alrighty, everybody, our first opponent of the day, another card game. And with our deck, we can go first or second. I could go either way. I prefer a little bit towards the first end, so that's what we're going to try to do as much as we can. So what do we have for an opening hand? Not bad. It could be better, but not terrible. So for this opening hand, we're going to start off with our boy, the Surfacing Big Jaws, the new search 'em up monster for the sharks. Normal or special summon adds a fish shark from the deck to the hand. And let me think here. Let's see. There are so many options for what I can do. I'm going to go ahead and grab Abyss Shark for now. I think that'll work just fine. So we're going to use Abyss Shark's effect. As we have all water, summon him out. And he's going to search us another monster. We want the Drake Shark. This is the guy you also summon out with, search, I should say, with Jaws. Because when you search him, you can summon him. And he also answers the age-old question. You know, old Shark Drake, you know, the old, was it number 32, I want to say? Yeah, he never looked like a shark to me. But this answers the question. He's a shark that turns into a dragon, basically. He's a very weird-looking shark, but I'll give Konami their liberties with the artwork on this one. On this one, it's fine. As for what we want to do from here, there's a few different things we can do from here. And that's going to be... I'm spoiled for choice. I don't have the perfect setup, but we can at least set ourselves up to a degree. You know what? Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to summon out Shark Drake, and because of this new dude's effect, he can be treated as two materials for a monster. But since we don't have anything else to do, we're just gonna, put all of our eggs in one basket today. There's no problem with that. So we'll summon out the OG Shark Drake. We're gonna go ahead and make into Shark Drake Vice. We can just overlay on top of Shark Drake, and by discarding a spell card and using the Shark Drake, I can summon out the new boss monster, which is this dude, Shark Drake Leviathan. Absolute beast of a monster, can attach materials to reduce the monster's attack to 0, negate its effects. On top of all that, don't even need materials, attacks twice, and has piercing damage. Absolutely brutal monster. So we'll end our turn with that and see where this goes. Like I said, this deck does a lot of searching, a lot of doing of stuff. If I had Cutter Shark, that would have been even better. Even though we have the new support, of course, for this deck, I would say that... What does this do? Yeah, no, I don't trust that. Yeah, even with the new support, Cutter Shark still remains one of the most important shark monsters. It really helps to get the deck searching out and get it going. But, Big Jaws really helps too. Because as well, if I play a spell the turn I have this in my head, I can also summon Shark Jaws on top of, searching out and all that good stuff. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So we're up against Superheavy Samurai, I see. So this card uses stinker material, blah, 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 blah. Alright. I am so far okay with this. Let's see, a 4. This is a tuner, right? That is a tuner. This is fine. Actually, this is a really good matchup for us because Super Heavy Samurais are nothing but monster effects. And we have a guy that can just keep negating monster effects. So I'm actually okay with this. Even though there's a Bagusk on the board, that's fine. I can live with a Bagusk. The Bagusk is fine. Alright, so what do we've got? I think we'll just go ahead and imperm this dude. Good effort on the Baguska. I salute you for that. But unfortunately, will not be enough. So let's summon out our Surfacing Big Jaws number 2. And get us another Abyss Shark, I say. Always love Abyss. You know, I like to do support too, but really the middle ground to like Cutter Shark and Abyss Shark really is just the best shark support in my opinion. It really is. Let's see here. Let's get Minai Ruka. Because I'll use a water effect, like with Crystal Shark here. I can special summon this boy from my hand. He's like a little goofy shark with a little goofy face. What do you have? Let's see, 1, 2. No, I was about to say, does he have, what's it called, Nibiru? Too early for Nibiru, too early. But now I'm thinking about Nibiru. That's force, oh. Okay, it's a Orochi. I was thinking it'd be something worse. Let me think. Nah, I'm good. That is totally fine by me, sir. Thank you. So I've got my Armored Exceeds Fortress. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Going to do some snarky things. We are going to do the Snark. Let me double check if I remember. Yes. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Using these two, we're going to go ahead and make full or Exceeds Armored Fortress. It's an Exceeds monster that searches out more stuff. What do you got? Don't got nothing. This is super heavy Thamarive. Don't pretend you got no spell traps. You're gonna be playing some. Oh, maybe he has Effect Veiler. Possibly. No, I'm good. I'm good, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get Armored Exceeds, and I'm gonna get Reincarnate Unveil Male. Yes, we're gonna get these two. That'll work. That'll work just fine. No. He did have that. Gosh darn it. I had a feeling, but I was hoping I was wrong. Okay. That sucks. That sucks a lot. I was kind of hoping I was wrong. I was hoping I was very, very wrong. Gosh dang it, this stinking rock. I had a cool thing I was going to do. You see, with, what we're going to do, I was going to go into the Armored Exceeds dude. I was going to overlay on top of him for our, where's his face? This dude, Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer. And then I was going to use my Armored Exceeds to equip on my Shark Drake onto this dude. Because when you equip onto Lancer, you can attach an opponent's monster to him as a material. It's pretty brutal. And I also have the ability to attach my opponent's spell traps to Drake. Not this Drake, but the other Drake. Because of the shark material he had. But gosh dang it, that's stinky. And it's just kind of a stinky thing. Like, when you're trying to do, like, combos and things, and then your opponent drops a rock on you. Makes you think, maybe throw in one Nibiru, because we do have Cross-Site Designator. It's like not a major thing. We mostly run that to stop Ash Blossoms and the like, but it still would have been cool. Oh, wait, hold on, no, we are... We're not done, brother. I have my Surface Aqua Jet. It's Monster Reborn for fish. That's right, buddy. We ain't done yet. All right, let's get Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark is gonna show up. You can't stop him. Oh. All right. This is not a water monster. Okay, yeah, I can still do this. Crystal Shark. I can use him from the grave. It limits what I can do, but both of these can be treated as level 5 for summons if I happen to need to do that. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to double check. Rank 5 or 6 exceeds. Yes. So, let's go for Nash Knight. But how? Make a Nash Knight. Make Dark Lancer. And then we're going to equip Dark Lancer with our Reincarnate Unveil Male, which gives them a few little different effects. More importantly, it's just an exceeds, an equipped card, I should say. So I can equip the Sky Slasher and beat my opponent over the head with his own bloody token. Alrighty. Well, that was not the way I wanted that to go, but I'm glad that we were out the Nibiru. My opponent will surrender as one makes it, but there you go. That's the idea of this deck. Just keep Exceed summoning, overwhelm your opponent with all your Exceeds monsters, and dang it, if you can equip stuff onto this Lancer, dude, he just steals your opponent's stuff. It's pretty nice, and it's even better with Leviathans on the board. Like I said, absolutely brutal beat stick that thing is. So let's go for duel number 2, show off more of what this deck can do. You know, actually, hopefully Nibiru doesn't show up again. 1 Nibiruing per episode is plenty, in my opinion. So hopefully we don't see the Rock again. So let's go for duel 2. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Alrighty, we'll let our opponent pick. That's totally fine. We're going to go second. Doable. I've got my Jaws again. I also have Xyz Remora. An interesting little number there, the Xyz Remora. Alright, what do we have against Tri-Brigades? Not my favorites. Not my favorite thing to go up against. Not even Tri-Brigade, it's Albaz. Just bloody Albaz, the archetype with a million different support cards. Okay. Since Albaz, or a monster that mentions it, there's Albaz. Of course, the whole idea of what this guy's going to try and do, if I remember my Albaz right, is, well, he's going to make the, what's his name? Ice Blade, Mirror Blade, whatever dragon. And he's going to try to bring back out the Albaz on my turn at some point. Gonna try and fuse with my... It's kind of like Super Poly, but different. Essentially, with some fundamental differences, one might say. Alright. Do your fuse... Dang, if only I had 1 in perm. 1 in perm would be really nice right now. Sadly, I don't have my 1 in perm. Just have to make do. I mean, like I said, I still have my Jaws. I got Remora. Got Monster Reborn ×2, mind you. White Mirror is also Monster Born. I can just revive a fish that's level 4 or lower. And I can search another copy of it from my deck. Very good with Jaws. You know, revive Jaws, search a Jaws, Jaws on the field searches. I can special summon the Jaws from my hand. It's pretty nice. Okay, no, he actually summoned it. Oh, wait, I remember this bit. He's trying to... He's trying to summon this on my turn. He's trying to summon the Gimmick Nightmare. So that, how do you say it? He's trying to lock me out of playing, basically. He's trying to lock me out of plays. It's not a nice thing to do, young man. Just gonna tell you right now, it's not a nice way to play the game. You know? Just saying. I know I got things like Stealth Krog and pop your stuff in the middle of your plays, and I got some negates of my own, but I don't got no floodgates. No, I don't. Alright. Well, luckily I've seen this before. So I know how to deal with it. I mean, I do have my Call by the Grave. Let's see. Add or set a branded spell. Yeah, this is going to allow him to... He's going to try to do the fusion, like I said. There it is. Going to get branded in red. And what he's planning to do, when he gets the chance to do it... Because that banishes, and that's the sucky bit about this. If I go for Beautiful Princess, is that better or worse? I guess I'll go for Surfacing Big Jaws. Let's just go for it. Alrighty. So Surfacing Big Jaws adds the Drake Shark. The Drake Shark will then proceed to summon himself from the hand. Like so. Let's go ahead and bring out... Lordy, this would have been nice if I could go for Silent Honor Arc, but sadly, 'tis not the case. So I'm going to go for Shark Drake. We're going to go for Shark Drake Vice. And then, we're going to go for the biggin. Going to go for the big boy guns. Let's go for Detach, White Mirror, Summon out Leviathan. There you go. Alright, so I only need, like, so many materials from this guy. So we're going to use Xyz Remora. I can actually detach 2 materials from my monster, summon this guy out, and he will then revive 2 of those materials. It's pretty neat. So far my opponent hasn't done anything. He's either very patient... Oh no, he's already used this effect, that's right. Ooh, he has done that already, hasn't he? Alright, that works fine by me. Let's see here. I don't have anything to equip at the moment. I could just go for Silent Honor Arc. That is an idea. I rarely get to do that, so why the heck not? I mean, it does cost me my tachyon, or rather, I'll have to keep the other guy, but this works too. We're going to attach 2 materials. I'm just going to steal this. Your dragon is mine now. And let me think. I can just bring back my dude. Yeah, why not? Let's just surface Aqua Jet now. Be like, hey, I'm bringing the shark back to town, baby. And I can use this effect. Target a fish monster has 1,000 attack. I do like that idea, so sure. Let's just make Leviathan even bigger. I think this is an excellent idea. Alright. Looks good to me. Let's just do battle phase. Let's keep it simple. Attack the virtuous lady. Nope. Did nothing. What on earth are you doing? I know this does nothing, but you could have used branded in red, right? I would assume. Why else play this? Alright, well that was a bit more anticlimactic than I would like to admit. I always see that Ice Blade Dragon, and I'm like, okay, this guy's got something he can do. He can do some stuff. He can do some stuff and some things, let me tell you. But unfortunately for my opponent, it weren't enough. So, a clean sweep and a perfect illustration of why this guy's a beast. Like I said, double attack with piercing. Plus, if you can boost him with whatever, he's just a massive, powerful guy. He might not look like a shark too much, but he's very pointy. And that's all that matters. So, good for duel number 2. No Nibiru's in sight. Very cool. Let's keep going. There's a couple other things this deck can do. Not a whole much other, but we have some neat little side techs. Hopefully we can show up some of the side techs in action. That would be awesome. Alrighty, everybody. Our third opponent, the fighting third. Let's see what we got on the docket. Alright, we'll let my opponent pick again. There's nothing wrong with that. And hey, 7th tachyon plus 1 for 1. That is very fine indeed. Let me think about this. I will activate 7th tachyon. I reveal my Silent Honor Arc, who is the one I want to search for the most part. And this will add to my hand my Surfacing Big Jaws. Very cool. I will have to put a card on top of the deck, but that's fine. Not a big deal. So we'll put Lantern Shark on top. We'll put that bay on top. There's just so many. I mean, normally 1-for-1s for the Beautiful Princess to get that thing going. But right now, I'm fine with how the hand looks right now. I mean, I've got this in case I really need it. In case my opponent interrupts this in some way, I think that will be fine, though. So we'll go for Surfacing Big Jaws. We'll add our Abyss Shark. Because then I can summon out Abyss Shark. That'll search out Drake. And so long as there aren't giant rocks and boulders about to rain down on our heads, we should be fine. You know, because Drake will come out, do his thing. Wachamba. And yeah, it's ought to work just fine. Let me think about where I want to go with this. Kind of go with Arxie's Fortress. I also want to go, okay, let me think. This needs 2 little 5s. Those are 5s. That's a 4. Yes. Okay. So we'll make Arxie's Armor Dude. I'm going to use his effect. Catch a couple materials from him. Add a couple of our Armored Exceeds cards. So we'll get our Unveil Mail. And I'll get Armored Exceeds. This ought to be just fine. And we'll make our Shark Drake. As we do. We'll make Shark Drake. This will look a lot simpler than it is. You know, this isn't going to be like the most bombastic looking board, but it's going to have some nasty numbers for my opponent to deal with. So we'll summon out our Leviathan. We will have to discard a spell, but we can get that back. We'll put this in defense mode in case Lightning Storm is a thing. And let's go for our Armored Seas. Oh boy. And we're going to use his effect. And just get this back. Very nice. Let me think. I think that's fine for now. I'm going to save my equip stuff until next turn. I could do that now, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with this. What do we got? Upstart got... Okay, I actually low-key almost ran that in this deck. Just because I like to search out stuff. Let's see. Ice Spell. Ice Spell. Ice Spell. I don't really trust you, Ice Spell. So I'm gonna say no. Okay, so this is Windwitches, or potentially what this is Speedroids. One of those two things. Let's see, what does this do? Add a Windwitch monster from the deck to the hand, you say? Okay. Add another Ice Spell. This doesn't give you another summon, though, so that's good. Am I... Okay, my opponent surrenders. Okay, that duel doesn't... That won't count towards final score or anything. That's just funny that... sometimes all it takes is freaking Ash Blossom doing things. It's such an obnoxious... I run it to counter it, but sometimes you use it and then your opponents can't deal with it, but... That's unfortunate, because I've seen pure Windwitches. They might not have a lot of stuff. They might even get more support in the future, who knows, but... They can do some combos. I tell you, I've seen some pretty nasty Windwitch decks. Love seeing Windwitch decks. So it's sad that they can be spotted by one, Ash Blossom. That's why you run Call by the Grave. Okay, so let's go for a fourth duel though. Let's go for one more duel today, and just go out feeling good. Alrighty, everybody, it's time for the fourth duel, the final for the last chance at romance. Let's just get on there. Can I get my fancy tech? We'll see in a minute. Let's go ahead and go first and see where this goes. No, I didn't get my fancy tech, but we got some other things. Got my Princess. I got a lot of things. Let's go for 7th Tachyon, though. That'll at least let me get my big jaws and bait out any Ash Blossoms and the like, so I'm good with that. So let's go ahead and get our surfacing big jaws, and I got some other nice techs here. So what do I want? I mean, I'm going to be messing my deck up regardless, so it doesn't really matter what I put on the top of the deck. So I'm just going to put the Princess on the top, and I haven't done 1-for-1 yet. Well, let's do the 1-for-1 thing. Let's get out the fish. If you want to lure a shark, you got to use a fish. So that's what we'll do. We'll banish the Princess. We're going to get our Buzzsaw Shark. Got my big jaws so I can go for other things. Pretty solid right now. So that's what we're going to do. Gonna go for our Buzzsaw Shark. See what happens. Effect Veiler. No problem. Not an issue. Some might think it's an issue. Not today. Alright, so let's go for our big jaw. Like, it's really cool with big jaws. Play a spell, just bring the guy out. Then you get a search, it's even better. So, what do you have now? You have an Imperm? I would imagine you have Imperm and or Ash and or both. Could be any of those things. So, let's go. Yep. Abyssal Shark. It's always nice. It's a modern thing, like searchers that search other searchers. That's just how ridiculously quick this game has gotten. I appreciate it with the sharks, but it is kind of ridiculous, too. So let's get our Drake. Let's go for everything. We'll have a nice setup here. Nice little setup. I do have my Unveil Mail, so that's good. Got Drake. I really wish I had my Exceed Sacrifice, which is a nice little spell. Basically, you take materials off of a monster, you just banish them and summon another Exceeds monster that's a rank higher. It's a really cool tech if you want to make Cyber Dragon Infinity in this deck. Which doesn't happen often, because I only play the one of the darn thing, but, it's cool when it works out. So, having done all these things, we'll do the basic sort of startup here. Nothing too fancy. Nothing too crazy fancy. But we'll use our Armored Exceeds. We're going to detach our materials, just deck thin a little bit. A little bit of deck thinning. Well, don't you just want to be a stink? I knew you had Imperm in there somewhere. I knew it. Alright. You know what? That's fine. That is 100% fine. Go right ahead. You have your Imperm. I have my Imperm on legs. Or fins. Whatever Shark Drake has on the end of it. What are those? Are those like duck feet? They look like really spindly duck feet. Like, low-key. Those are like duck feet. Why do you have duck feet? Even as Shark Drake Vi, you have duck feet. I can barely see the feet on Leviathan, but I'm going to assume they're being covered up by the Konami logo, and he also has duck feet. I don't trust you to not have lightning storm. I'm putting this in defense mode. Just in case. Let's see here. Let's recover the equip spell. Unless you want to imperm me again. Do you? Possibly. I don't know. So far, all I've seen of this guy's deck is I want to imperm people. And I want to effect veiler people. Alright. That's plenty. You know what? Like I said, I don't want to waste my equip, steal my opponent's stuff if I can help it. So I'm good with this. So what can my opponent do? We're about to find out. Dragon's Shrine. Okay. Blue Eyes, I assume? Or Red Eyes? It's Blue Eyes. Okay. Star Drifter Dragon, indeed. I was thinking that was going to be, what's that archetype called? I played them in the past. What are they called? Starry Nights? Starry Nights, that's the one. I thought this was Starry Nights, but not quite. Not quite indeed. So we're going to use Leviathan's effect. I always detach the materials of the Exceeds variety, in case I actually have my Exceeds on Veil, and I can equip a monster onto Lancer. That's why I always detach these guys first. It's just very helpful. Alright, Leviathan. Whatever that is, turn it into material. What was it? Another dragon. Okay, you know what? Some might say that's not that good. This is probably the better card, but I am stealing my opponent's stuff no matter what, so I'll take it. I'm not a greedy guy. I'll take it. Let's see. Get myself... I'm going to get... Who do I want? That is a great question. I have so many options. I'm going to get Big Jaws onto the board. Now, this will miss timing, and that is the reason we run Dugars. If you're wondering why Dugars is in here, he's not a water, he's not a shark. It's specifically in case this situation happens. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and make Dugars. Also, I could... what's the effect? To skip next battle phase and double monster's attack points. That's pretty dang good, I'll tell you that much. Do I want to go to that instead? That's a good question. It would be a 6200 monster that attacks twice. Double attack a monster. Because normally I use this effect to bring back Jaws. When in doubt. No, I'm a battle-focused deck, though. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna make Leviathan big. Or not. Maybe I won't do anything with the Thort. Maybe I will do nothing. Okay. For a Blue Eyes deck, my friend, you seem to negate an awful lot. Alright, well, regardless of that, this ought to be game, right? Yeah, that's more than plenty for game. I think, my friend, you spent a little bit too much time negating and a lot less time playing the game. Work on that. You will be better. I know Blue Eyes, they can come back from a lot of things. So, there you go. That's the deck, everybody. I mean, that is the core of what we're doing. We just exceed something as much as possible. I really wanted a 6200 beat stick to attack twice. I wanted to pretend I was playing a train deck or something. But, unfortunately not. So, that's the time we have for today. Let's go for the end screen. Talk more about the Sharks. Alrighty, everybody. So, the new Age of Sharks... basically like the old Age of Sharks, except now we don't need Bahamut Shark as much anymore. Old Sharks had this issue going first, where their best play was summoning Bahamut Shark, going for Totally Awesome. That the already Exceeds helped a little bit, but still a lot of that. But now I can confidently say, you don't need to run Totally Awesome in this deck no more, because we have a better monster. Totally Awesome, he's out the window. We don't need to see him in Sharks no more. We'll see him in Frogs. What little left is up for the Frog archetype. He'll be over there. Over here, we have Shark Drake Leviathan. Absolutely beastly monster, and I love him. You know, favorite new shark monster. I love. He might not look like a shark, but he's a shark in our hearts. So, very nice to see the show in here. You know, Surfing Jaws, just an amazing new searcher, plus a body on the board. Good old Drake Shark answers the evolutionary question of how Shark Drake is a shark. And, you know, 7 Tachyon, very nice searching card. I mean, this works for any of the 101 monsters, so, you know, potential there for any sorts of crazy shenanigans you want to do. So, yeah, that's the deck, everybody. Hope you did enjoy it. Don't forget, hit the like button to let me know you enjoyed it. Smash the sub if you'd like to help grow the channel, because we're still aiming ever upward, folks. Never looking back. Always up forward. So, real quick, here's the deck list for those of you who are interested in this deck and want to try it out yourselves. So, here's the thing. We got 3 copies of Abyss Shark for easy search and body, 1 Crystal Shark to combo off the Shark Abyss, 3 copies of the new Surfacing Big Jaws. Never play less. This guy's absolutely amazing. 3 Buzzsaw Shark is a start 'em up monster to cover up monsters from our deck. We have 1 Lifeless Leaf Fish, which can dump a monster to the grave for us to revive it, and can recover cards from our graveyard. We have Lantern Shark, which is not as useful as it used to be, but it does allow you to summon a shark from your hand, and it can also change its level, so it's something. Minai Ruka can be summoned if you activate a fish or a water monster's effect. Good for chain blocking monsters, good for additional bodies on the board. It can negate effects by banishing your stuff you control. Not as good there, but it's got situational usage there. You got your Jark, I can't say his name, Drake Shark, who looks funky, but he's really good. You search this guy for whatever means, except by drawing it, you can summon him out. It counts as 2 materials as an Exceeds material, and when used for our Shark Drake, he can attach 2 materials to steal your opponent's spell traps and make him Exceeds materials onto this dude. He can also work on your own if you ever need to do something. So, good card. I like it at 1, because more than that, he's kind of a brick. 1 Exceeds Remora. Very nice card if you just make something like Stealth Krog in turn 1, attach the materials, summon Exceeds Remora, then bring back the materials and continue your plays. Very nice. Sathana is a cheeky little shark tech here. Just nice to have a body on the board. You know, you do want to start with this monster, otherwise it's not as good once you've already established a board, but when you're starting off one, Sathana's pretty nice. Well, you have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, mostly so we can negate it with Crossout, but also to stop searching. 3 Beautiful Princess, because this can be banished to summon out one of our fishes from the deck. Most often Buzzsaw Shark, but we can also go for Big Jaws if need be. 1-for-1 searches out Beautiful Princess. 2 White Mirrors to revive monsters and search out the copies of themselves. Good old Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, for when we want to be snazzy, and go for 101, the Silent Honor Dark. We have ourselves the Armored Exceeds, which can equip Exceeds in the graveyard to our monsters to give them a big old boost. We have our Sacrifice Level, which can detach both materials from an Exceeds, banishes them, but we can summon out a monster that's 1 rank higher, which allows us to go for all sorts of rank 5 action. And as long as you're not locked into anything for the turn, because some of our monsters do lock you into like water monsters and things. Not Big Jaws though, but you know, some things will. But you know, the ability to summon Infinity is a nice little side option here. 3 copies of the 7th Tachyon, very nice card. Just reveal number 101. Search out any of our level 4 water monsters. It's absolutely beastie in this deck. We have 1 Surface Aqua Jet as an additional monster reborn in this deck, which can also make a monster bigger, which is really important because we have the Shark Drake Leviathan. Call by the Grave to stop Ash Blossoming and the like. Cross out to really stop Ash Blossoming and the like. 1 Reincarnate Unveil is an equipped spell that can make a monster just a little bit stronger. Most importantly, this is something we give onto our Dark Knight Lantern to steal stuff. So, it's a funky little tech card. It's not as useful as you might think, but it's got its usefuls. 3 Imperm, because we want to stop our opponent's monster's effect. If you happen to be going second, very nice card here. And last but certainly not least, we have Full Armored Exceeds. We want to exceed on our opponent's turn for whatever reason. It's just another thing we can search at as well. It's a card we can just send to the graveyard for whatever reason. And I can also banish it to equip an Exceeds from my field or grave to an Exceeds I control. It gives that monster's attack points. Let's see. Yeah, it gains attack of the monster equipped. And if I would be destroyed, I can destroy that equip instead. So it's a card with its uses. You know, it's good as a one-of. As for our side, or our extra deck here, we got our Xyz Armored Torpedo, which is a level 3. We can make it. It's not as often, but we detach materials from this thing, draw an additional card. It's a good card to be put in the graveyard and equipped later, because it allows a monster equipped with it to, it prevents my opponent from doing stuff when our monsters attack. Absolutely monstrous if you can get it onto Leviathan. Just basically have him steamroll everything. And yeah, you also prevent this from being targeted by stuff. So, you know, it's a little more situational, but Armored Torpedo equipped onto Leviathan, pretty nasty. We have 1 Duels, which is, like I said, an emergency tech card. if you go for Buzzsaw Shark and you have like nothing else for whatever reason. But you can make a Rebel 4, especially if you get like, big Jaws and this thing on the board. Make Duels, detach materials, bring back Jaws, start making your plays. It's an option there. We have one copy of Krogan Spawn to go with our Stealth Krogan. Stealth Krogan, amazing startup monster in this deck. It turns everything into a water monster, and you destroy water monsters you put in control. Doesn't require materials or anything. It will also inflict damage. And if this guy does get destroyed, you can summon spawns up to the number of materials this guy has on the board. Sometimes you remove those materials, but if you don't, you'll at least be able to bring back a Krogan spawn, at least have a body on the board. It's better than nothing. Better than nothing. So, good old Krogan spawn, optional Stealth Krogan. I run one, and that's fine by me. One one-on-one Silent Honor Arc, which is very important for our 7th hack-in, but can also steal my opponent's stuff. So, pretty nasty old card. We have our Shark Drake, which we mostly run to go into Leviathan. But on his own, he does, when he destroys monster, you can detach materials, bring back that opponent's monster to your opponent's field. It will lose 1,000 attack, and then you can attack again. So if your opponent has something small that you can run over, Shark Drake can do the damage. It's more useful going into bigger things. Like going into Shark Drake Vice, who, I don't even remember what this guy does. 1,000 less life points. Banish a monster from your grave and attach material from this card. Target monster. It's basically a slower, more situational version of the bigger version, this guy. Again, he's something we go into while we're going into Leviathan, just to have additional materials. We have Nash Knight, who can detach 2 materials from himself to attach a numbered exceeds from our extra deck, and a monster on the field to himself as a material, so steals your opponent's stuff and makes himself stronger. And he can't be destroyed by battle while you have a number, and we have plenty of numbers in this deck. We of course have our Cyber Dragon Nova and Infinity combo, which is situational and all that stuff. If we have Sacrifice level up, it's great, but otherwise, we don't go to it too much. But when we do, we have an Omni Negate that keeps getting bigger. We have our Exceed Armored Fortress, which you can search out our Armored Exceeds cards. And if a monster equipped with this guy battles, any damage is doubled. So it takes a lot, but it is theoretically possible to equip, Leviathan with this and Torpedo. It almost never happens. Your opponent will rage quit if you do, but it can be done. And of course, we have Silent Honor Dark, which, just a nice little additional monster. If you happen to get the 7th one out, go right ahead, summon out Silent Honor Dark. Nothing wrong with that. So, having a nice big beat stick that can revive itself is cool. Leviathan is our new OG boss monster. He detached to negate monster effects and make their attack 0. He attacks twice for piercing damage. Pretty nasty on a 3,100 point body that's easy to make. Of course, we have Infinity. We have Armored Lancer, which when equipped with stuff can attach materials onto himself. And he can recover any of our Exceeds cards in our graveyard. So if we have to discard things for whatever reason, that's not an Exceeds card. Where is it? Where they like Armored Exceeds, things like that. It's nice to be able to just recover our stuff. And last but certainly not least, we have Cyber End Dragon. In the off chance you're going into Infinity and they blow up Nova, you can bring out a fusion from the action. So it's a very cheeky tech card. It's a what if my opponent doesn't remember what Nova does sort of thing. So I put Cyber End. You can run Twin Dragon if you want just even more damage and things. So I just like the Cyber End Dragon. He's a cool dude. As for the side deck, we'll go over briefly. Virtue Stream is essentially Icarus attack for this deck, and it can also provide some protection as well. Ice Barrier is something you ditch with Foolish Burial Goods to search out your high-level shark monsters, things like Abyss Shark and the like. Ready Fusion and Instant Fusion can be used to bring out some level 4 monsters if you just want more bodies on the board. F-Zero Utopic Draco Future, along with his littler version of himself, can be made in this deck. It takes a lot of materials to do it, and you'll just be total kaiju bait. So I don't like to do that as much, but it is an option for the deck. There's other sharks as well, like Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark, Bahamut Shark, guys that aren't as useful in this deck, but, they're cool looking. They're pretty neat looking dudes, and, I'd like to run. If I was going to take out Krogan Spawn, I'd replace it with Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark, because he's a cool dude. As well, there's things like Dream Shark, which is an additional body on the board sort of thing. And there's also some of the other new Exceeds shark monsters, which aren't as cool. Like Armored Shark can special summon itself by ditching water Exceeds from extra deck to the grave. So, there's some use to that, I suppose, like ditching Armored Torpedo if you really want to go for that even harder. and then you target a fish in the grave with a level equal to that set monster's rank. So, yeah, no, you would have to put some hoops through it. So, but Armored Shark can also equip himself to a monster. So, it's one of those debatable one-ups there. Additionally, there's things like Cutter Shark, which is not that great of a thing, because it tributes the monster that is being targeted, kind of defeats the purpose and all that. So, you know, not as useful there. And then there's an additional Drake Shark if you really feel like it, but I still stand that one of is fine for this thing. But that's the deck, everybody. I hope you did enjoy seeing some Sharky action. I appreciate you. And I'm going to be starting to work on a spider deck next, because I've wanted to play a spider deck for a while. There's still nothing new spidery that I'm aware of. Let me double check real quick. No, nothing new spider-wise. So we're going to have to figure out something fancy. Maybe we'll make something around Launcher Spider. He's a cool spider. But anyway, for now, thank you much for watching. Your boy Memphis is signing out. I'll see you guys again very soon. Till next time, y'all stay safe, stay happy, and you have a good one. I'll see you soon.